dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Keaton Hall. Nonprofit Grow Appalachia is working with eastern Kentucky farmers and gardeners in getting back on track after the July flood. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox details what steps are being taken over the 6 months later.
Years of hard work for farmers and gardeners was destroyed on July 28th.
You know, all my bees, boxes, everything. We watched them float by on the porch, you know, and that was something that we've been doing for, quite a while.
Now they are regrouping and rebuilding with a little help from nonprofit Grow Appalachia.
We think of it as just a way to eliminate barriers to growing either your own food for your family or neighbors, and expanding that to support for those who are interested in market gardening also.
Barriers that have increased since the flood. Soil samples are a high priority for healthy plants, along with other growing tactics.
You also want to take a water sample, so that water that you're using to irrigate your crops is also going into, that water and everything in that water is going into your produce and then into your body.
There's also the fear that those crops might drown in flood water again, so they are finding ways to adapt that might save local farming.
I really want to work with our partners to think about possible ways for sustainable hillside growing, possibly like some terrace. That's a lot of work, and you have to be careful not to disrupt the integrity of the structure of the hill.
While it has become increasingly complicated, farmers are eager to find how they can continue growing produce and feeding communities. In Letcher County, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Grow Appalachia also provides scholarships for farmers who need access to resources. With grocery prices reaching new heights across the nation, local farmers markets like the Perry County Farmers Market can help many families make ends meet. Today, the market held a holiday pop-up event at the Art Station in downtown Hazard, offering homemade and locally sourced goods to people in the area, all while supporting local farmers and producers, several of which who were impacted by July's historic flood.
The farmers market represents such a key source of opportunity for folks who do rely on farming and producing their own goods and selling it locally. And so we've got some folks here that were really impacted by the floods, and a lot of the proceeds from what folks will purchase here at the market today will go back to them being able to rebuild so that they can continue to produce in a sustainable way for our community.
Today's pop-up market was also in partnership with Save the Children, who had several representatives there helping kids plant seeds to teach the importance of sustainability. One Pike County church is still recovering from the July floods, but help has continued to pour in. First Baptist Church of Myra, Pastor Dave Hammond, says groups from across the region and across the country have come in the past nearly 7 months to help the church. Hammond also says donations came from just as far and wide, even from former UK, now NFL offensive lineman Landon Young. Hammond says help across the region and seeing people come together has been wonderful.
I'm sure through all the flooding of eastern Kentucky, all the people can say the help and the love of people across the nation and in this state has been amazing. God's people come together in times of trouble.
Hammond would like to thank each and every donation and all the help the church has received. High school students from Pikeville made a special donation to police officers on Friday. The group called Teens Who Care donated bags of stuffed animals to the police department so every officer can keep one in their car while on patrol. In a post on Facebook, the police department said the bears help in many ways when officers are dealing with situations involving children. Wolfe County Search and Rescue, Powell County Search and Rescue, and the Red Star Wilderness EMS responded to a call involving an injured hiker on Tuesday. The woman was in Menifee County near Hatton Ridge when crews say she injured her knee while hiking as part of her job. First responders were able to treat the woman's injuries and prepared her for the trip out of the area she was stuck in by using a rope rescue system. She was taken to a local hospital by ambulance. No word on her current condition. CDC is reporting that nearly 75% of new COVID-19 cases are caused by the XBB 1.5 subvariant. But public health officials say even though the Omicron subvariant is outcompeting other viruses, it hasn't caused a big rise in new cases. Instead, the number of new cases has plateaued, with COVID-19 and hospitalizations and deaths falling off, too. That could be because the bivalent boosters have been effective against the spread of XBB 1.5. Antiviral treatments like Paxlovid and remdesivir also continue to work against this subvariant. Over 56,000 COVID antigen tests have been recalled. Universal Meditech Incorporated issued a nationwide recall of the Skip Pack Medical Lab rapid test kits, saying they were distributed without appropriate clearance or approval by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration and could potentially cause inaccurate test results. The recalled products were manufactured from October 2021 to December 2021 and distributed early 2022. Consumers should stop using the devices immediately and contact the distributor for product return. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said Saturday he ordered the takedown of an unidentified object that violated Canadian airspace. Meanwhile, searchers have not yet reached the unknown object shot down yesterday as they deal with minus 45-degree temperatures in the area. CBS News correspondent Christian Benavides reports.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of Canada says on his order a U.S. warplane shut down an unidentified object that was flying high over northern Canada. Trudeau said NORAD Command shot down the object over the Yukon. Canadian and U.S. aircraft were scrambled, according to Trudeau, and a U.S. F-22 successfully fired at the object.
Aircraft assigned to NORAD successfully took down this high-altitude airborne object at approximately 3:41 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
On Friday, U.S. officials say President Biden gave the order for an F-22 to shoot down a separate object flying over Alaska's icy northern coast. But as investigators work this weekend to gather more information, the object's origin and purpose remains a mystery.
We do not know who owns it, whether it's state-owned or corporate-owned or privately owned.
White House National Security Council spokesman John Kirby said the device, described as about the size of a small car, was flying at some 40,000 feet and presented a reasonable threat to the safety of civilian flights. Last Saturday, Air Force fighter jets downed the much larger suspected Chinese spy balloon off South Carolina's coast. Republican Alaska Governor Mike Dunleavy says the Chinese balloon should have been taken down much sooner. In a statement, he says there is very little margin for error. Russian territory is only a few miles away. We are the one state closest to the Korean Peninsula and China. Alaska is truly on the front lines. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
Trudeau says he spoke with President Biden this afternoon and that Canadian forces will recover and analyze the wreckage of the object that flew over his country's airspace. Stick with us. We'll be right back after this.